Welcome to another episode of Financial Fridays. You know the drill. We meet here every last Friday of the month to give you the tools to level up financially. Today, we're talking about investing in US equities. What is it? What are the benefits? The stocks to watch? How you get started? All of it. Now, with me today is Miss Kerice Gray. She is the Assistant Manager of Bond Equity and Digital Assets Trading at the VM Wealth Management Limited. Stay with us for the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, Kerice. Now, let's get right into the conversation. What are we talking about when we say investing in US equities?
First of all, thank you very much for having me, Samantha. It's an honor to be here. So before we dive into investing in US equities, what is an equity? It's basically an ownership stake in a company. So what the stock market does is it provides a venue for companies to raise capital, and by capital I mean cash. So it's that cash that the company will use to grow the business. So just as though you have companies like VMIL listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, there are two exchanges in the US that companies can list. And these exchanges are the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. So when we speak about investing in US equities, we're referring to having an ownership stake in the companies that are listed in the two exchanges I just mentioned.
All right, so we have the two US exchanges, right? Why would a person want to invest in stocks anyway in the first place? Why?
So before we speak about why, because I like to get into it and explain everything so we're all on the same page here.
Right.
There are two ways that we earn from stocks. You earn by what we call capital appreciation or dividends. Now, for capital appreciation, and I'll use the local market just so everybody is familiar with the names. So Wisynco listed, I believe, in December 2017, and they came to market at $7.50. Now, let's say, and I'm giving you a price, let's say Wisynco is now trading at $20. It's in the ballpark, maybe $21.50, but $20 for this example. That difference, that $13.50 difference between the $20 that it's trading at now and the $7.50 that you purchase it is a capital appreciation per stock. So if you had 100 units at Wisynco at $77.50 and it's now trading at $20, you have a capital appreciation of $13.50 per stock. And since you have 100 stocks, it's just multiply that by 100. So that's one way that you earn. The other way that you earn is by dividend. And what a dividend payment is just the company deciding to share excess profit. Now, the dividend is not an obligation of the company. So depending on returns for that particular quarter or period, the management team might say to the board, let us pay out investors a dividend of 0.007 cents per share. And if that's approved, investors will get that. So those are the ways in which you earn from stock market. Now to speak about the benefits. Now, if you take a historical view on the performance of equities, it has outperformed most other investment class. So you're able to hedge against your portfolio against inflation by investing in the stock market. You're able to diversify your portfolio by investing in the stock market. You're able to create wealth. Now, Warren Buffett is known as the modern day investor, or one of the best modern day investors of time. And he has said that if you don't plan to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about it. Don't even try to invest in it. So what we have always said, let's take a long-term approach and you will see the benefit of investing in the stock market.
All right. So right away, I can see, first of all, that it's really good for persons who want to have a steady second or third or even a stream of income.
Right.
All right. So tell us now, what is the reason why the US would be a preferred area to invest for stocks?
Okay, so there are some advantages to investing in the US market. As a Jamaican, we speak about diversification a lot. And in diversifying your portfolio, we're not necessarily only speaking about the types of assets, but you're looking at currency. So one avenue or one benefit of investing in the US stock market is that hedge that the US dollar provides against the devaluing of the Jamaican dollars. Another benefit or something to note is that our stock market opens between 9:30 and 1. In the US, the market opens between 9:30 and 4, and there are some brokerage firms that allow you to do pre-market trading, as well as there are others that allow you to do after hours trading. So when you're speaking about the benefits, you're speaking about the regulatory framework. So like the SEC, which is the equivalent to the FSC out here, they're very stringent in ensuring that the marketplace is very fair and it offers equal opportunities for all investors. You're seeing where there is the ability for you to grow and grow your wealth and grow it in several different sectors, or you have the ability to determine what type of portfolio you want to invest in. Let's say I want to create a portfolio that will give me 7% dividend yield per annum. I know that I have the facility to do so and the information to go about. So that's just some of the benefits of investing in the US stock market.
All right. I'd just like to take this time to remind our viewers that you can always put your questions down in the chat and we'll answer them as we go along. All right. So I can see there's so many benefits, right, to investing in the US market and the US stock market. Now, I know that another benefit is something that we call, I'm not remembering the name right now, however, you're able to purchase a fraction of a stock, right? Tell us about that part of it. How does that work?
So let's say you want to buy Microsoft. Microsoft is something that we all use on a day-to-day basis. It seems very homey to us, so you want to invest in that. We see where they are doing some AI generation and you believe in the work of Microsoft. Now at VM, we have always preached inclusivity, and we have always preached, how we can help our clients get there. One of the things that the US stock market affords persons is to buy a fraction of a stock. So Microsoft is currently trading over $300. You are saving on a monthly basis. You may not have the capital at once to buy 1 unit of Microsoft, but through fractional trading, you're able to buy a small percentage or whatever percentage you can afford and incrementally build your portfolio in stocks that tend to trade a bit higher in terms of price. Mm-hmm. So that's also another benefit in trading on the US stock market.
That is very interesting. You can continue, I just cut you.
Yes, that's fine. So in the Jamaican market, we have also evolved because previously you could only trade a minimum of 100 units per stock. Now we're at 1. So there's still that value also on the local side. Let me just highlight the trading there.
All right. So we've looked at the reasons why this is a good investment, right? Now, VM Wealth is able to make this happen for our investors. Tell us about how is it that you're able to do that?
So VM Wealth has partnered with a company called Interactive Broker. And what they do, or what we do, is we provide clients, whether you're an existing VM Wealth client or you want to come on board, I'm inviting you to call us and open an account. You are able to be onboarded on the Interactive Broker platform and you can trade these stocks on your own. Now, another avenue that you can get exposure to US equities is there's a passive way that you can get it. So you don't have the time to go on and execute the trade for yourself. Mm-hmm. Samantha, you can invest in the VM Wealth US equity portfolio and you will get the exposure to the US market without doing all the work. Our team of experts between our research team, our asset management team, our trading team execute these trades. And the portfolio year to date is actually up above 8%. So there are 2 ways that you can do it: outright, doing it by yourself, or the passive way in which you can buy or subscribe into the unit trust.
All right. So that was actually going to be my next question. You just explained some of the ways in which the VM Wealth team helps persons who want to invest in stocks, whether in US or Jamaican or otherwise. Any other tips, any other ways that the team actually helps persons who want to invest in stocks?
Of course. It's VM. We believe that research is a cornerstone of everything that we do. And especially in an environment like this, we depend heavily on the research of the work from our research team. So our research team prepares a monthly stock pick on the US Equities side, and our clients are able to use that to help them with whatever trading ideas they have, as well as they can always speak to their advisors to kind of guide them towards some stocks based on what it is that the clients set out to do or what they're trying to achieve for themselves.
And you help them to understand the market as well, right?
Of course. Very important.
All right. So we know that we've had some turbulence in the economy. I mean, we had COVID and we have some other disruptions going on right now. What really is the state of the US economy and the stock market?
So before I say it, I don't want you to shy away, or I don't want you to stop the video now because I tell you that the market is bearish, meaning that prices are going down. No. So the reality is stock prices are going down. And that's predominantly because of where we are now. So you mentioned the pandemic, and let's go back a bit to say where we're coming from and why we're here. You know, at VMware we speak about educating our clients. It's very important to us.
Definitely financial education.
Financial education. So during the pandemic, we were all locked down locally. You remember those Saturday curfews where you couldn't come out. During the week we had to be in by a certain time. That was happening in the US. So they had lockdowns to not be in to even leave more than we did because of the spread and the amount of deaths that was happening that side. And what that did was it kind of slowed down the economy in terms of production. So you have production slowing down and you have persons saving. You're not going anywhere, so you have more cash. What happened is when the economy opened, you had all of these persons that are rushing out. You're seeing a pull on demand because persons, like I said, they were saving more cash. They now have more cash on hand. They want to spend. And that is happening, and you're still not seeing that return to strong productivity levels. Because remember, persons has closed down their jobs, persons change. So you had a shortage of supply. And that caused the prices to go up. And we have been hearing it for some time now, high inflation, high inflation. Mm-hmm. So what the central bank has been doing, I mean the BOJ here, and in the US, the Federal Reserve, they have been increasing interest rates. And when interest rates are high, the fixed income markets, and that's like bonds, treasuries, those tend to do better than the equity markets. Why? For one, you're getting higher rates. So if you're getting higher rates, why not invest in something that is considered to be a safe haven? And that's what the treasuries are considered to, as opposed to equities that tend to have a little more risk. So that is why we have asset prices typically coming down now. Now, while this is the case, there's still value in the equities market because we always say you want to buy low and sell high. So now that the market is in a bearish state, meaning that asset prices are down, it presents a prime opportunity for investors to take an incremental approach to creating wealth by way of the US equities market. So I'm not saying to you, Samantha, that you have 10,000 US now and you're going to just put it all in the market at once. No, you're looking for these blue chip companies that you know that once we're out of this cycle, everything is a cycle, the market is a cycle, that they will excel, and you're taking advantage of this dip in prices. So if we're to continue on that trend of how the market has been performing, even though the market, the S&P 500 is pretty much at 11% year to date, there are still days based on whatever economic data that comes out that the market is down. So I'm saying that even if you take a year to date approach, the S&P 500 is up. However, when you look at some individual stocks, they might be down. So it's all about determining what exactly you're trying to create for yourself and getting that assistance to get you to move there. So if we go a bit further into what investors can look to invest in now.
Yeah, that was about to be my next question. You know, what are some of the stocks that we can watch?
So, all right. So before I tell you that, so I spoke about the S&P 500. Let me just go into that. The S&P 500 is one of the indices that they use to track the performance of stocks in the US market. S&P 500 Standard and Poor's. So it pretty much has 500 companies listed. These companies tend to be very large in size, and they weigh about 80, and they measure about 80% of the entire US market. Another index that is widely used, is the NASDAQ, which is mostly tech-based companies. So for this year, you have been seeing, or you've been hearing a lot of talk about AI. So you're seeing a lot of companies like Microsoft being up 46% year to date because of them believing that AI is the cornerstone of the business, and they have been investing a lot in that. Google would have invested in there's this AI platform that they use, Genesis, that they have been investing in, and there are so many other companies that are looking that way. So we're saying that you can watch the tech space. The other space that we're saying that it's good to look at is those companies that the cyclical companies. And when we say cyclical, we're referring to companies that tend to move with the economy. So now that things kind of look down, you want to look at the companies when things get better, they will move. You're looking at your airline companies. So persons not traveling as much because things are tight. Year to date, Delta is down 3.16%, but looking at it for the value that it will bring when things get better. You're looking at companies like Walt Disney, and Walt Disney is a consumer discretionary. So those are the stocks that you can look at now, just to name a few. Boeing Airline, Apple, we spoke about the tech stock. Apple is one of them. Apple is up about 40% year to date. So you're seeing that even though things might be down, so for instance, today Apple is down maybe about 5%, but if you take from a January to October approach, it's still up. And that is even short term. So we're seeing play the long game in the US market.
All right, so you talk about playing the long game, and this leads us into another topic, which is really about risk and your risk appetite as an investor. Talk to us a little bit about how do you balance those risks, and what are some of the things you think about when you're talking about risk and being risky, so to speak.
So we can't do any form of investment before understanding the risk appetite of our clients. And by understanding the risk appetite of our clients, I'm not going to come to you and say, Samantha, are you a conservative investor, or you're a moderate investor, or an aggressive investor? I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me something when in reality that is not the case. I'll probably ask you something like, hey Samantha, you have 100,000, all right, that's big, and we're preaching. We don't want persons to shy away because that's big. You have $1,000 to spend. If next week I come and tell you that the market is down 75% and you have lost 75% of your money, how would you react? So those are the type of questions that I will ask to kind of determine your risk appetite. Separate and apart from determining your ability to take risks, we also look at your willingness to take risks. So we're investigating these things, and we're looking at what exactly you as an investor is trying to achieve, so that we can help you to achieve your financial independence. Now, when we speak about risk, there are several risks that affect the stock market. So there's geopolitical tension that's happening now between the war in Israel and Palestine war, and you are looking at your days when things might happen, a strike might happen, that will send the market down, and persons are trying to de-risk and going into some safer asset. There are things that can be specific risks. So you might, for instance, invest in an oil and exploration company, and tomorrow you hear that the plant blow up, and there are things that can happen. So in everything that we do, we have to assess the risks that are associated and try to diversify our clients' portfolio enough so that they don't have specific risks that will damage your portfolio too much if one thing happens in the stock. And we also tend to preach to our clients in a time like this, let us take an incremental approach, and let us try to buy value stocks. So that's just one of the things, or some of the ways in which we help our clients to achieve their financial independence by way of the US stock market.
All right, and kudos to the competent team at VM Wealth that is able to allow us as a group to give that to our members and clients. Now, when persons want to invest in the US market, tell us, how can they make contact? What should they do next?
So first of all, you can contact our VML team or client services team at 960-5000, or you can email us at vmwmclientservices@myvmgroup.com. So that's 960-5000, or email us at vmwmclientservices@myvmgroup.com. And you will be assisted and provided with all the information that you need to get starting with US Equities.
All right. Thank you so much, Kerice, for being here with us. This was a very interesting conversation, and I'm hoping that our viewers will, take the initiative and come and speak with the team at VM Wealth. Now, this has been Financial Fridays. I want to encourage our viewers that if you want to get more information, you can always contact our team at 754-VMBS. That is 754-8627, or via email to manager@myvmgroup.com. That's manager@myvmgroup.com. I'm Samantha Allen, and this has been Financial Fridays. See you next month.